This case began with a call placed to the Carmel Police Department in Indiana on the evening of Saturday, February 26, 2022. The caller identified himself as Xavier Breland. He reported that his 31-year-old wife, Sierra Breland, was missing. According to Xavier, the last time he saw Sierra was the previous night, Friday, February 25th. He told officers that around 10 p.m., she left their home in the Brookstone Park neighborhood on foot, saying she was heading to a nearby convenience store. At first glance, it sounded like a routine errand. But almost immediately, investigators noticed details that didn't add up. Indiana was in the grip of winter. Temperatures hovered near 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Despite that, Xavier claimed Sierra walked out wearing a thin black top and purple shorts. Detectives found that highly unusual. When officers searched the home, the inconsistencies grew. Sierra's driver's license, credit cards, and identification were still inside. Even more concerning, both of her phones had been left behind. One was her professional work phone, used in her career as an attorney. The other was a backup phone her family said she kept strictly for emergencies. Most troubling of all, the couple's 5-month-old son, Jackson, was still in the house. Sierra's mother, Kelly Lear, later stated firmly that her daughter would never abandon her child. Sierra was an attentive mother who checked on her baby constantly. According to Kelly, Sierra wouldn't even take a shower unless someone else was watching him. The idea that she would walk out on a freezing night without her phone, wallet, or infant son made no sense. Police quickly pulled surveillance footage from the convenience store and surrounding streets. They found nothing. No sign of Sierra. Not a single camera captured a woman in shorts walking through the neighborhood that night. The supposed late-night trip appeared to be a dead end. With the store story unraveling, investigators shifted their focus to the 24 hours before the disappearance. They needed to retrace the couple's movements. Xavier and Sierra had recently been traveling back to Indiana after visiting family. Attention turned to their white 2017 Volkswagen Tiguan with Georgia license plate RMB 5869. The vehicle had a distinctive Florida State University College of Law plate frame attached. The drive from Sierra's parents' home in Georgia to Carmel, Indiana, takes roughly 11 hours. Detectives began collecting surveillance footage from traffic cameras, gas stations, and rest stops along the likely route. They expected to confirm that Sierra had returned home safely. Instead, what they found was unsettling. The white Tiguan was indeed captured heading north toward Carmel. But at every stop recorded on camera, only one person exited the vehicle, Xavier. He was seen fueling the car and purchasing items. Sierra was never observed getting out. There was no evidence proving she crossed state lines alive. The last confirmed sighting of Sierra occurred in a completely different state. Surveillance footage showed her on February 24th at 7:17 p.m. outside her mother-in-law's home in Johns Creek, Georgia. Nothing unusual appeared in the video. But after that moment, her trail, both physical and digital, went cold. Investigators began to suspect the missing person report filed in Indiana might have been an attempt to misdirect authorities hundreds of miles away from where something far more serious had occurred. To understand how events reached this point, it's important to look at Sierra's background. Sierra Lear grew up in Cleveland, Georgia. Her mother described her as ambitious, determined, and outgoing. She earned her undergraduate degree from the University of Tennessee before attending Florida State University's College of Law, where she focused on insurance defense. She built a promising legal career. In October 2020, she met Xavier Breland on Tinder. Their relationship progressed quickly. Within 6 months, they were married, and Sierra was already pregnant. Court documents later revealed that Sierra even assisted Xavier legally during disputes with his ex-wife. Shortly after marrying, the couple relocated to Carmel, Indiana. Sierra joined a law firm, and in late 2021, she gave birth to their son, Jackson. From the outside, their life appeared ideal. But behind closed doors, it was unraveling. According to Sierra's cousin and close friend, Shelby Campbell, problems began early. Sierra confided through daily messages that the relationship was volatile. She had attempted to end things early on, but Xavier refused to accept rejection. He showed up at her apartment uninvited and sent threatening messages after seeing her with another man. 6 months into the marriage, Sierra texted Shelby, "I'm afraid of my husband." She described worsening behavior, emotional manipulation, and escalating aggression. She told her cousin that if anything ever happened to her, Xavier would be responsible. Police were reportedly called to the couple's home multiple times in both Georgia and Indiana. Each time, Sierra downplayed the incidents. But the pattern concerned at least one investigator enough that he warned her mother something serious could happen. Sierra quietly began preparing an exit plan. She opened a separate bank account and set aside money. She kept a backup phone for emergencies. She was planning carefully. In February 2022, she traveled to Georgia with Xavier, their infant son, and their dog. Officially, it was a family visit. Unofficially, Sierra intended not to return to Indiana. At her parents' home, she told them plainly, she planned to file for divorce. On Sunday, February 20th, she drove to Johns Creek to retrieve her son from Xavier's mother's house. She texted Shelby, "I'm at Xavier's mom's house. He won't give me Jackson. I'm waiting to take him and leave." Tension was building. On February 21st at 11:17 p.m., she messaged her father saying she would come back the next morning. He responded immediately, telling her she didn't need permission. She never returned. Her father's follow-up messages went unanswered. The silence was uncharacteristic and alarming. Surveillance footage confirmed she was alive at 7:17 p.m. on February 24th outside the Johns Creek residence. After that, she vanished. 2 days later, Xavier reported her missing from Indiana. Sierra's father later confronted Xavier by phone, telling him Sierra had once said that if anything happened to her, he would be responsible. Xavier allegedly responded with anger and hung up. Days after filing the missing person report, police were called to Xavier's Indiana home for a reported gunshot. He claimed a firearm discharged accidentally while he was moving a Christmas tree in the garage. Officers located 2 handguns inside the home. Shortly afterward, Xavier was taken into custody, not directly for Sierra's disappearance, but on an outstanding warrant from Georgia involving serious stalking allegations. Investigators then uncovered disturbing elements of his past. He had a prior burglary conviction. His former spouse had accused him of installing a tracking device inside a stuffed toy given to their child to secretly monitor her movements. Court records described threats and patterns of controlling behavior. Jail phone calls revealed further inconsistencies. In conversations with his children, Xavier reportedly claimed Sierra had been abducted, contradicting his original account about her walking to a store. Meanwhile, search efforts expanded across Georgia, Tennessee, and Kentucky, covering more than 85,000 acres. Authorities released descriptions of Sierra's tattoos: 3 trees on her ring finger, a sun on her ribs, and a Florida State University symbol on her wrist. Despite extensive searches, no remains were found. Xavier later requested a bond reduction and was released after his bail was lowered to $100,000, despite objections from Sierra's family. He failed to appear in court on December 28, 2023. A warrant was issued. He became a fugitive. Now, investigators are searching for 2 missing individuals: a woman who vanished in February 2022 and the husband suspected in her disappearance. Sierra's parents were granted custody of their grandson, ensuring he would grow up in a stable environment. But Sierra has never been found. Her body has not been recovered, and the case remains open.